over to Heather Williams first to talk about general, and then we can go to Senator Mason and Delegate Rome to talk about the individual.
Yeah, sure. So listen, like their efforts, right, are not a surprise. They have a long road ahead of them as they, try to find their way in a system that they've spent years casting doubt on. We believe in our programs and in the strategy we have in place. And right now, our focus is on making sure that everyone who has requested a mail-in ballot is returning it and that people are making plans and executing them to vote.
Great.
And I would say we saw some early bump. The governor's here on Wednesday before early voting on Friday. So we saw an early bump from their side. But ours has been a very consistent line and theme. As Tom said earlier, we've been working hard on voters that have voted 3 of the last 4 or 2 of the last 4, so sporadic voters, to make sure we get them out. Also driving independents and working towards the, any mail-in ballot, making sure that they are returned. So, a lot of what we've seen are people in an extremely red area that have voted 4 out of the last 4 times. So if they voted earlier on election day, you probably know what you're getting there. But we continue to work on with a specific focus towards targeted voters that we believe will come our way, that in this off year, may or may not generally come, but with our attention and our focus and our presence, we think we're getting them in there now.
So on the first week of early voting, one of the challenges that we had in our campaign is that we have 4 early voting sites. So there's technically 5. There's 3 in Prince William, but one's on the eastern end of the county. And so in Western Prince William, we've got the Haymarket Library, which, other than Tyler Precinct, which I've always won and very much plan to win again this fall, other than Tyler, most of the other precincts that are directly around where the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library is, most of them either trend Republican or are really battleground precincts. And that meant that at the very beginning there, you had a lot more people from these Republican precincts who were coming in on week 1 before our mail-in ballots started to arrive. And then the one in Manassas, this is a very unique issue to Manassas, really to Greater Prince William, compared to almost any other locality in the state. You could maybe talk about like Stanton versus Augusta or something like that, but our other early voting location for Western Prince William is the Prince William County Office of Elections. It is this little enclave, this little dot that is completely surrounded by the city of Manassas. And so my Prince William County Manassas area, so unincorporated Manassas, not the part of the city of Manassas, my base that's there, where I'm pulling 70, 80% out of some of these precincts, these folks have a longer commute to get there. If it had been at like the Pat White Center or whatever, we'd be having a very, very good time. And so because it's not really walkable to get to there, especially for that community, there's not a bus that's running, from all points of, the Manassas area to get over to that center. You naturally have higher turnout in the more affluent area in the Haymarket than you did in the Manassas part. And then in the city of Manassas and Manassas Park, they have their own early voting locations. We feel very confident that based on early voting that will have come in through the 3 Manassas area locations, the city of Manassas Park, and the county part of Manassas, we feel very confident that our early in-person vote is in our favor. And then once the mail-in ballots started coming in, that's where the Republican advantage in that early vote dissipated very quickly. It took by the second week, they no longer had an advantage. And at this point, we've built up, what is a pretty nice lead for us. At the same time, one of the really promising things coming out of the Haymarket Library right now is Heritage Hunt is usually the highest turnout precinct in Prince William and one of the top 5 in the whole state in Virginia. It is largely, no, not exclusively, a 55 and older gated community. And based on our numbers right now, we believe that we are within striking distance of complete parity. We are within 1 or 2 points maximum difference in the early vote turnout out of Heritage Hunt. That is a very, very promising sign for us. The Republican Party does not have a path to winning this seat, nor do they have a path to winning HD 21 for Josh Thomas against John Stirrup in that case. Without Heritage Hunt, they can't do it because their entire strategy is going to be banked on significant turnout from Evergreen, Gravely, Cat Harpin, in all the precincts in particular. And at the same time, in my state Senate run, they run into a math problem as Manassas shows up. We also have always known this was going to be the case with the unincorporated part of Manassas, is that turnout is generally lower in that area than it is in the northern part. And so it's also a really big push for us to make sure that on election day itself, our folks are showing up. And then very significantly for the greater Manassas area, the 3 days of weekend voting that we have. So we have this upcoming Sunday, Souls to the Polls, and then we have October 28th and November 4th for Saturday voting. One of the biggest barriers for early voting in person for a lot of my Manassas area constituents is that early voting locations are only open in the county part from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you're working 8 to 5, then you've missed that window 5 days a week. And so we think that come this Sunday and then the next 2 Saturdays, we're going to have a very nice bump in our Manassas area turnout for the county, while we continue to see really good numbers for us out of Manassas City and City of Manassas Park. And then the last thing, I am very happy with our mail-in numbers out of the 2 cities, especially. We have a pathway in my race to sweep the entire greater Manassas area. So that basically includes all the precincts in the City of Manassas Park, and the county part of Western Prince William. We believe we have a pathway to do it. Not guaranteed. Some of them are battlegrounds, but if we have a pure sweep of Manassas, they don't have a chance on election day.
Great.